everybody. I'm going to give you a few minutes to come in. I am blessed again today to have Miss Stephanie from So Stephanie Says and Mid-South Sewing and Crafting. So without further ado, we're going to pop in and let Stephanie start up. Y'all give us some thumbs up. Let us know that you can see us. And be sure and put in there hashtag social hop. There we go.
I was going to say hashtag social hop.
I couldn't remember that. So I'm echoing. Let me see, guys. I can try to turn down my volume, but hang tight.
So how do I sound, everybody? Hi, Connie. Hi, Heidi. Hi, Jill.
All right, is that better, ladies? Am I still echoing? Still echoing, gang? Well, there is another solution to this. So hold on.
I don't hear an echo on my end.
I don't either. So, oh, sounds good now. All right. Just needed to turn my volume down. Okay, guys. Turn it down a little bit more. Hold on. Are they hearing Stephanie in the echo or me?
They're saying now it sounds good. So we're good, I think.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. Just had it up too much for somebody else. The last presentation I did was for somebody else and they needed me louder. Oh, I was stitching over the persona. That's what it was. So.
Then we have to tune it up just a little bit to get over that noise.
Yes, had to go up a little bit on the volume for there. Okay, guys. So today, just remember, you still have a chance to win the VES software. You need to put this across how it says it right there in the comments. Like, share this my page, and let's go from there.
Hashtag.
Hashtag it needs to be exactly like that, gang. Otherwise, you do not get picked up. Okay.
That algorithm will kick you off.
It will not pick you up, and I can't go in there and have it do multiples there. So. Also, remember, we are doing the ugly sweater for brother, and back there you can see I've got my ugly sweater purchased and ready to decorate. It's actually a nice sweater right now. Ugly sweater, cute sweater, whatever you want sweater. But just remember that Angela and I are doing that right now for you guys. Would like for you all to participate. As you start purchasing, as you start getting your items ready and starting it, be sure and post on social media and put that hashtag there so that we know what you're doing. It's fun. Nobody wants a prize. It's just for entertainment value since we are all in this together.
I'm working on mine, Cindy.
What have we got ugly yet or cute yet? What are we doing?
I'm working. No, mine's gaudy. I'm going to go with the word gaudy for mine.
You're going to say cute. Are you?
I'm not going to say, it's gaudy.
Okay, loud and proud. I like loud and proud.
I like it. It's been that kind of year. I kind of thought about just the roll of toilet paper all the way around me, but wasn't sure how that would hold up. So I went with plan B of gaudy.
Okay.
Well, maybe a little bling, maybe a whole lot of bling.
I'm going to go hunt for things to add to mine because I do have the sweater now. I'm not going to revamp what I was doing before. I'm actually going to start from scratch. I went to my local thrift shop and found me a red and black sweater. It's kind of mixed models, and so we're ready to go for that. All right, Miss Steph, what are we doing today?
Well, I know, everybody thinks I'm the queen of vinyl, but I truly do love paper crafts. And I love, love, love being able to draw with our ScanNCuts because I'm not an artist. In my head, I am, but in reality, I'm not. So, look.
Ooh, I like.
So this is one of the projects. These are hand-drawn. This design comes from Needy Graphic Artist. Mary is the owner of that Etsy shop, and she does hand-drawn SVGs and PNGs. So I found her, and I love her designs because it looks like something I wish I could draw. So that's one of them. So this is, I'm going to try to hold it up. So this is a file that we use to draw. And then in Canvas, I created an offset and told it to have a cut line. And then I added and welded so that I had to put my ribbon through. So original file is what the pen drew, offset, welded a circle so that we could put ribbon. So that's one idea. And this was my gift tags for everybody. And so I made a bunch of these in different colors. Cindy and I were talking about snowmen, and she said, well, snowmen are white. I said, I've never cut a white one. I always make them colored. So I did do a white one just for you, Cindy. I used white cardstock and a blue pen. And so this is just drawn. So the great thing about our ScanNCuts is that it scans. So you can put your card on it, scan, and then you can see exactly where you want to put your design at. So I love, 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 love cards. Some I purchase. Some I create with our edging. I'm not going to show the other side just yet, Cindy. So this is a border in our canvas to where we can create this file ourselves. So Cindy, with your help, I need you to help me design this for everybody.
Well, we can certainly do that.
Make the magic happen.
We'll make the magic happen here. I'm going to take off, but you guys take note that this is where this graphic is coming from, just so you know, but I do need to remove it for right now so that we can actually go forth and multiply here. I'm going to take everything off and we'll start from scratch here. So Stephanie downloaded the SVG file from Nina Graphics Arts, and it's an SVG. It came in multiple varieties, right, Stephanie?
Yes. They have a PNG, a EPS, and a SVG. And
Sheila, thanks for letting us know that you are from snowy West Virginia. Hey, Judy, good to see you. Hey, Beth, I'm glad you guys are all in here today. I forgot to say hi to people. Stephanie, I'm a terrible woman here today.
Well, I will say hi to Pat Woolen and say hi to her. She loves the snowman. Of course, we have one of our biggest fans, Connie, is on from Houston, Texas.
Of course, Miss Connie is one of my buds. So we've got a lot of people in here. Miss Judy Williamsburg, good to see you again here today. Saw you yesterday afternoon. All right, so we are going to start this process with what, Miss Stephanie? I'm going to let you walk me through it today.
Okay, so the first thing we need to do, since we're pulling in an SVG, we are going to click on our SVG. That's that icon right there. And we are going to double click and pull that in. And we now have it a little bit big for our project. So we're going to select and change the size on that.
So
Big,
you
small.
can either pull it from the corners, or you can go into your edit menu and size it to an exact color, the exact size, guys. The choice is yours.
So the size of my card was about 5 inches tall. So we need to leave plenty of room for writing and things on it.
So what do you think about 3?
Yeah, maybe a little smidge bigger. Bigger's always better.
3, it's 3.37. We could do 3.5.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. I'm going to move him over to the side here.
Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is add some text to go with that snowman.
Oh, we're going to do our text first, then I'll put it over here.
We'll do the card first and then do. What do you think?
Do the text first or do the card, making the card first?
Which do you want to do? You're in control. You've got the mouse over there.
Let's do the making the card first.
Okay.
Because, let me hide this little button here, because I've got a trick to show them on the text.
Ooh, okay.
All right, so we're going to go into our
shapes.
Menu. And what am I picking?
I want the one with the scalloped edge. That should be it.
Square, or are we going to do a trim? Just the square?
It's kind of a rectangle.
This one.
But we can change the size of it.
Let's do that one right there.
Yep.
We'll rotate.
And if you're not good with rotating, you can also use your rotate.
And you'll notice mine says 90 degrees. That means I rotated it really well.
You did perfect.
And I'm making this 5 inches high.
Well, half of it's 5 inches, so it'd be 10 inches when you folded it.
That's what I'm asking. I need to make it 10.
Yep.
Ooh, that's too long, too big for this one. Oh, you know why?
Because you went 15.
Because I rotated it. And just so y'all know, when you rotate something, the height is still the original height, which would be this way. So I got a little large there.
So this is a feature that I think that people get a little scared of, Cindy, is when they're going to add in some other elements because they see little dots and they're not sure what happens. So what we're doing, we just want to draw a line straight across our card so that we have a folding point. So that's all that does. See how easy that is? And then I don't, yep. I don't want to cut that line. I want it to be dashes so that it's easier for me to fold my cardstock.
So I'm going to my properties, which is my paintbrush, and I'm going to choose a dashed line pattern. There we go.
There we go.
Now, I don't know about you, Stephanie, but at this point, I always group my card.
I group it because if not, as soon as I move it, I lose that line.
Exactly. So I selected it all, guys. All that's in my drawing page. Remember, I moved my snowman out here. So now I'm going to right mouse click and I'm going to choose group, which I've already done. Jen, the ScanNCut can cut up to 3 millimeters in depth. So whether it be cardstock, foam, whatever, 3 millimeters and less. Now, Stephanie, I'm going to bring this to the front so that I'm working with him in the front foreground. Because we brought him up, that meant he was last. So I actually want him first. Right?
Yes, because we want to draw first, then cut.
Okay, so what else are we putting on here?
We are going to add some text, and you're going to show them your quick cheat, your special hack.
All right, so if you have a word processing program or you have, well, email is a word processing program, gang, just so you know. If you're not a good typist, since there is no spell check in Canvas Workspace, you can type your text in over here, copy that, come over to your Canvas Workspace, click on your text tool, click on the design page to activate it, and you can either right mouse click and choose paste, or actually I just go Control V for paste. And then that text is entered.
Now, Cindy, tell them the conversation of why we might need sometimes some spell check on things.
Well, because if this next part, we couldn't decide, was it possessive or not? Is holidays possessive or is it not? Is Hogan's possessive or is it not? So spell check is always a wonderful thing, especially if it's not your name or something you are not familiar with typing. And sometimes we all type a little quickly for our own hands, and that makes it easier for you to be able to spell check it. You don't have to think about it.
I'm a spell check fanatic because my brain and fingers do not seem to work together sometimes. I spell happy with maybe 3 P's because I get a little click happy.
Yes and yes. Sometimes my fingers don't walk the correct direction. So what am I doing now? I'm picking a font. So Stephanie had something for you all to say, and I actually did not know I had a line font on my computer, just so y'all know. I just happened to find it while we were looking. But go forth, Miss Stephanie.
Okay. So when you're doing handwriting type fonts, when you're going to be using your pens, if you choose a bold font, it's only going to give that outline. So when you're looking for fonts, if you will find a single line font, sometimes they're called handwriting fonts, that will give you a very nice font for your pen. And if you're scrolling through, as Cindy did, she found that she did have one, and that just looks a little bit nicer instead of some of the bold ones. And I have, one of the things that I did, I use labels when I ship things out, and I was always signing thanks Steph, thanks Steph, thanks Steph. So I used the ScanNCut. I wrote thanks, comma, Steph, scanned that in and duplicated, and then I can just stick a whole page of labels on there and let it write my name, thanks Steph, and I can put that on there. And it just looks really nice, having that a little bit more professional looking than my handwriting all the time.
I think my league one is the only one that I have that is handwriting, and I didn't even know I had that one. So it just happened to be on my computer. I have no idea. So we'll go with it. And so now I'm going to select them both, which is what I did to change the style of both of them at the same time. You can just draw around both of them and then click on the drop down menu for your text, and you can change the style of them both at the same time. I'm going to shrink mine in at the same time since I've got them both selected. And if you want, you can align them. So
of course we want to align them.
We can go to our edit button. And which magic button am I popping here?
Center middle.
Center. I don't want to do middle. I just want to do center there. So I'm going to take this and move it down into my card. I need to get much, much smaller here.
I bet we could even rotate that.
I bet you're right. The little circle at the top is your rotation handle. If you don't want to do it there, you can adjust your angle, but I am kind of a visual person there. Let's make it look like it's coming off his hand. Y'all like that?
It's coming out of his mouth, and he's talking just like I do, Cindy.
He's
with my hands in my mouth all the time. That looks just like me now.
There you go. Last thing we need to do, though, is something else, right?
We need to tell it that we're drawing it.
Yeah, so we don't want to draw the outside. We want to draw the inside parts. So we're going to go into our layers menu and select the interiors, the snowman and the text. And we're going to change that from cut to draw, because in Canvas Workspace on the desktop, you cannot have a file both cut and draw. You can do that. That is the default on the web page version of this, on the browser-based version, whatever you want to call it, the internet program. But this one here, you have to tell it to cut or draw. It can't do both at the same time at this time. I have requested that, but so far it has not been, that request has not been answered. So, okay, and now we're ready to send it to our ScanNCut staff?
We are ready, we are ready. One of the things that we need to do to our ScanNCut is to put a pin in. Okay,
but hold on. We're going to go up to our file menu, and we are going to export transfer that FCM file. Click OK, and we are going to say transfer FCM file via the internet.
And whoosh.
And there it is. Okay, so I am going to flip cameras here for a second. If I can get my cursor back to the right place here. Camera. There we go. Let's start at the cutting table here first. And I'm going to use actually my old standard mat, Stephanie. Normally I would use a low-tack mat, but this one is actually less tacky than my
definitely want low tack, no, not a lot. So I agree with you. To me, my mats kind of go in rotation. They're brand new. Then it's this. And when it gets to where it barely has stick, that's now my cardstock one.
So yeah, this is not going to stick like super glue. And as a result, I am going to tape it down just a hair.
We love that washi tape.
Or washi tape is a girl's best friend, just so we're clear on that.
The reason that I love the washi tape is because it will never tear your paper when you pull it off of it.
All right. So there we go. I am set up and let's do this one. Y'all are seeing my.
So Kathy says that she loves watching your shows, have your playbook on order, and she can't wait to get it. The playbook is phenomenal. I love it. I use it all the time. And Cindy is a genius, but I've told her that all the time.
And tell Shirley, yes, I will pop up where we got the graphic from. It was, you can tell her right now, but I'll pop it back up on there again.
Nini, Nini graphic artist on Etsy.
So I'm going to make my screen bigger here, Stephanie.
Sounds good.
Hang tight. Go back to me solo. There we go. Can you still talk?
I can still talk. So
All right.
now we are going to go to retrieve data.
I want
so
to
that
load
we
my
can.
map first, though.
And pull that design up. Yes.
And you'll notice we have blue and we have black. The blue is the right is telling it needs to write. The black is telling it needs to cut. We always want to draw before we cut.
That's right. And the reason is?
Because you do not want your life to fall apart.
That's exactly correct.
From the mat. You always want to draw first. And I'm fine with that being down at the lower end of my mat. I've got a full sheet of green paper. If I did not, I would do my background scan here. We'll go ahead and do that just for the heck of it. And since I did not group it on Canvas Workspace, I would need, if I want to move it, I would need to go into my edit menu and group it together before I tried to move. So I'll do that real quick.
And to me, you know, I'll
edit the My Three Sons selection menu. I call this the My Three Sons because it's 3 squares a day there. Select all. And then we will object edit and group it for a minute. Then you can move it where you want it to go. You can leave it grouped if you want to. It will not hurt it. But that lets you move it where you want it on your design page. Now next we're going to touch OK. And if you are okay and it is okay, we are okay to move on.
I am okay to move on. For our please select, we are going to be drawing.
And I need to get out my drawing tool.
And you will notice that the start will not highlight if you don't have your pen in.
Yes, so you see my start is green, still darkened. I need a pen. I didn't think to pull that out before we started this mess. Let me flip my camera and we will show you how to put that in. All right, guys. So your pen actually, I can do that better.
Close up, can I? Wrong one.
The pen actually looks like a garbage can. This is the front of it. The Brother logo is always going to be facing you when you put it in. We are going to push the little button on the back of the garbage canister. And take out a pen. Everybody got some kind of pens. Just depends on what model you have.
And I'm surprised at how long they last. To be such a little pen, I've used mine over and over again.
Put it in the garbage can, put the lid down, take the lid and put it in the top. And that is how it holds it for you, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so I'm going to lift my lever here, take out that one, and put this one in. And we are now, it should have told us that we are ready to start. So the green button lit up because I put in my drawing pens. We can now start. And it's going to draw our pattern out for us. It's
Do you
going to
think
take
it
9 minutes.
did
So
this?
we'll go talk about a couple of other things.
That's right. So some comments have been about where to get the playbooks. They said certain stores didn't have it, and where did they get that playbook? At a brother dealer.
At a brother dealer, but I will tell you that they are on back order right now with brother, but they should be in within the next 2 weeks. So you should be able to get one by Christmas. The next they sold out of everything that they ordered, and so the next shipment wasn't scheduled to ship until December. They should arrive in the brother warehouse, I think, this week, and then they should ship out to dealers from there.
Everybody give Cindy a round of applause for writing a book that sells out.
There you go. Hopefully the next 3,000 sell.
That's right. So they last as long as you put the lid on the pen. Ask me how I know, Connie says. You
That
have to.
They have been the ScanNCut playbooks have been a hot little item this fall. I don't personally sell them, so I can't help you out in that manner. I would love to tell you that, but I can't. However, the dealers will have them in their stores if they've got an order placed. As soon as they get into the warehouse, they will be shipped directly out.
Well, I got lucky because I just got my 3rd order, so I have a few here.
It is a physical book. And it has a USB inside it. Let me give you the snowman artwork again while we're sitting here. It is a actual physical book. It has a USB stick inside it with printable projects and videos on different activities that we're doing throughout the book. Okay, so while we're doing this, let's talk about, I've got another little trick for you guys since we are waiting on this to finish drawing before we cut. We'll talk about another little quick tricky thing you can do here today. Let me share my screen again. All right, guys. So remember, Canvas Workspace is a great resource for different projects. And if you click on your library button, it will bring up your library. There are tons of resources in here. We're actually going to use PE Design with our ScanNCut file today, okay? This one right here is really a pretty file.
I have that one. I love it.
It is a super pretty file, and it can be used for so many other things besides cutting fabric or cutting heat transfer vinyl. We can turn that into an embroidery file. Wouldn't that be a cute running stitch file?
That would be a gorgeous.
Instead, let me flip back to me here for a second. Is I turned it into an embroidery file. Y'all can see that one? That is simply from that file itself. There only one thing was different, that the little snowflakes came off of a design, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So what I did was I came in here and I got rid of anything. We ungrouped it first. Anything that was not the tree or the snowflake. So you can come into your layers menu, and you may find it easier to do that here. And grab them, delete them, or you can draw around things that you don't want. I want my tree, so I don't want to grab my tree. Highlight anything that you're not wanting and delete it. And I want my tree. So that's real. The tree is my ultimate goal there. The tree and the snowflake. I only need one of them. One last piece there. So now I'm going to group that snowflake back together. Actually, it is grouped already, so we're good. Our tree is not, though, so our tree needs to be grouped back together so we can grab the whole kit and caboodle. I'm going to highlight it and group it. If my cursor will play nice with me here. Right mouse click and group. And then we're going to export this to my computer. Isn't it a beautiful file, Cindy? I love that file. We're going to export that. So I'm going to choose export FCM file. And guys, I'm just going to put it in my downloads folder for ease of grab. And we'll call this tree and flake.
What an original name.
You know, I don't know. Am I talking about me when I talk about the flake, or am I talking about the snowflake there? So let's go to our PE Design 11. Unique to PE Design 10 and 11 is the ScanNCut tab. That is not available on the other branded software that is like this. It is only in the PE Design software. So we're going to touch import, and we are going, there's my downloads, and I'm going to choose, what did I choose? Tree and flake.
That's it.
Tree and flake, and we're going to import it.
I think I'm the flake today.
There we go. So we now have our tree and our snowflake. I'm going to ungroup. I need to right mouse click on a stitch to ungroup it. And then I'm going to group back this top piece just so that I have it together. So when I move that one, everything moves. Here is how easy this is, guys. I'm going to come and grab the parts of the green parts of the tree, or the parts that I want to be green, and I'm going to change those to a satin stitch. Change my color to green, and I'll change my angle over here. You can either drag it or you can type in 90 degrees. You do want to give yourself a lot of undersewing. Why did it change my color back? That's interesting. I'll come and grab the color back to region, and it should be green. There we go. We want our outline to be the same color of green. And then I want to do my stem. Go to your Shapes tab. Change from Not Sewn again to Fill Stitch. Change that color to brown. I'm going to go Brother Embroidery and change it to brown. I want the region brown as well. So now everything's brown there. And I did something else here, Steph. I deleted that snowflake. I want to make sure this is grouped together so I don't lose it. I went into my import menu. Now they're saying it's hard to hear me. Let's check my mic. Yeah, I'm still on and I'm still up. So I don't know, Cindy.
I can hear you.
Try the volume on your computer for me. I'm going to choose Design Library, and we are going to we're going to go from sample files. So I'm going to choose sample. And we are going to choose, I believe it's Sample Flowers is where this one is. I like you all to know where things are. If you have a multi-needle machine, a 10-needle machine, this design right here is the bomb. It is exactly 10 colors that repeat. It does, and you've got to use the jumbo frame. It does the first half and then it does the second half. But look, I've got really cool snowflakes. I've got really cool stars. I'm going to come and grab the star and a snowflake. So let's come and see what we've got here. It's done drawing, and I will go back over there in just a second. So I'm going with that star. It looks pretty proportional. We'll go up to our Stitches tab, because this is in stitch format, and grab the Split Stitches tool. And I'm going to snip around that star and double click. Now that star is its own little file. We can move it out of the way for a second. And then I'm going to come and grab my Split Stitches tool again. I clicked on my tree, Split Stitches tool again. If you don't click on the tree, the star is still selected. Snip around that snowflake. My original design is not altered because I imported, I did not open. I'm going to move this into the middle. Put the star.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do what?
Awesome.
Put that star on top of my tree. grab my snowflake and change its color so you guys can see it. How about gray? And then let's turn the fill stitch on for this one. So we're going to go, I selected my snowflake over here. I'm going to change it to a fill stitch. And the whole kit and caboodle is going to fill in. Not what I want. I'm going to go to my home tab. I'm going to choose modify overlap and I'm going to set a hole. That's because my center is completely contained in the middle of that snowflake. I can do this and I will only get one set of outlines. So that's what I'm going to do. Set my hole and then turn off the stitches for the interior. Drag that to sew after. And we have got ourselves snowflake artwork turned into stitches. Now, last thing before we do anything else, let's group our star with our tree and add some text.
And add what, Cindy?
Text.
Okay.
All right, Caroline, they had made me turn all my microphones down because I was echoing. I am yelling at this point. To do the second line of text, press Control plus Enter. Not Shift, Control. And then left click away from the design or press Enter to enter the text. And just like you did in Canvas Workspace, you can go up and choose a different font style, but I actually like that one today.
I love that font.
I do like that font. You have numbered fonts 1 through 20. You can grab any of those that you want. I actually want to change my line spacing a little bit though. So I'm going to reduce that number. I want them closer together. Oops, wrong way. So let's go down to about 80%. There you go. And if you want them centered on each other, in your text attributes window, press that center button. And then Control M for middle. I actually have a large design page selected, just so you know. You can make yours whatever size you want. I think I have the 8x14. Add you some snowflakes. You can duplicate and play around with it all you want. And then I added a background fill. So I touched the background fill button. I added a decorative fill, and I found one that I love that is built into the software and not the machine, Stephanie.
Well, you know, I didn't need anything else to add to my schedule, but now I'm going to have to go stitch this.
Look here. This one right here is so simple and elegant. It works beautifully.
Oh, I'm in love.
I made that one about 50 millimeters. It's going to fill my hoop. Click OK. And how simple and cute is that?
Oh, Cindy, Cindy.
Yeah, there you go. All right, we ready to go back to our ScanNCut because it is done drawing.
Let's go. Let's go.
Marcia, that is ladybirds. I got that from DeFont. Cindy, no, you cannot do that in BES4 because you do not have fill stitches in BES4. You could apply a decorative fill, but you cannot apply fill stitches. Let me switch my camera over.
Caroline, that is magical. I agree.
All right, so I lost my stylus, girls. Wonder why. Aha, I know where it is.
Well, you've already lost the one to the persona, so this is just one more.
If it's not in my hair, I lose it. Oh, you all know what? I had a decorative pattern on my ScanNCut for my fill instead of, that's why it took 9 minutes instead of just a little bit. That is funny. I'll show you here in a second. So we are going to touch OK. Actually, we're going to choose please select, right? And we want to cut now.
Because we got to cut my scallop edge.
I'm going to take out my can. Am I big enough on the screen? No, I am not. Hold on, gang. Running too many. I need a second operator. Where is that camera operator you promised me, Stephanie?
Well, you know, I guess I could have ran over to your house. We could have done this together today.
Yeah. Oh, well. Oh, well. All right. So we are taking our black auto blade and we're going to put it in now. Make sure the flat side is to the back. And you'll notice my green light started up. We can say start. And it's now going to cut out our card and it'll be almost ready to go.
And Cindy, what's the one thing you just didn't do for me?
What was that?
Test cut, test cut, test cut. So what do I say about test cuts every time? Everybody do a test cut. But since Cindy is the professional, I can understand why she didn't. But for the rest of us, whenever we are cutting anything, do that test cut. So then you know a little bitty if it's okay or not.
Yeah,
You got trigger happy today.
Yeah, you know, I just didn't do the test cut. Didn't think of it. I tend to do test cuts when I do vinyl and fabric, not as much on paper.
And one of the other things that we might not have mentioned is that we would not be doing a half cut on that because we want it to cut all the way through that paper.
Yes.
So I'm going to show. So here's one of mine.
All right, Steph, I'm going to put you on this way. There you go. Actually.
So I have one.
Got you. There you go.
And this is my favorite. So again, this is that scallop edge like Cindy's doing. And I've added my font and then I've added my candy cane to it. So this is all done with the ScanNCut. I like using the brown craft paper just because I think that just gives it a little more rustic. And I buy the white ones by the 100, you know. So you can either buy cardstock or you can create your own. So either one is fine. I kind of like this. To me, having the scalloped edge is just a lovely design that we can add to it. And those are all just done with our ScanNCuts. Easy peasy.
Okay, so wait, that's what I want right there. Actually, I'm going to make me just there because we're ready to show you guys. We are done with this one. I'm going to touch OK. Get my big sweater out of the way, and we're going to unload the mat, and I'll go over to our cutting table. Trick on getting things off of your mat. If you are working with paper, you do not want to lift from the mat. You want to lift the mat off your paper. And the reason that is because it will keep it from curling on you.
And getting those ugly little bended corners.
Yes. So we're going to flip it upside down. And we're going to curl the mat off the paper instead of the paper off the mat. There you go. And you'll notice my little dashed line across here. I'm going to bend it forward and then I can bend it backwards. And we have a nice, perfect snowman. Ready
he's
to go.
Adorable.
He is cute. So now I have one card for, actually, no, I have two because I did a card last week with Joanne. When Joanne and Angela were on here, we did cards. So I've got one last thing for you guys today before we move on to anything else. And this is something you can do on your ScanNCut directly. Somebody, when I was doing Houston Quilt Fest this weekend, asked about how to do a window cling. So I have a hack for you. You ready for my hack?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. You know, shower curtain vinyl, actually the skinny vinyl that you can buy by the roll in your local fabric shop. We're going to put that on our ScanNCut mat. And I'm going to use the regular mat. And I'm using one that's older so that this doesn't stick like super glue. Once again, I tried it on my low-tack mat, which is brand new, and it was stickier than this one that is older than dirt.
So now I've got this stuck on here. I'm going to take a piece of craft vinyl or whatever kind of adhesive vinyl you like to use. This one's a shiny, fun one. And I bet Stephanie knows where I got that from.
That's a holographic.
No, this one's not holographic. It's metallic.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Okay.
I have no holographic on this one. I thought about that, but I didn't.
Because it's really looking like it's collecting lights over here.
It is because it's right underneath the light, but it's not.
Okay.
And I'm going to put this over the top of my vinyl, my clear vinyl, and I'm going to smooth it down so that I don't get bubbles in it. That's why I put my clear vinyl on there first so that I keep my bubbles out of there. If you want to take your brayer, you can bray it.
And I really recommend a brayer when you're using that metallic instead of a scraper so that you don't scratch that beautiful vinyl.
Oh, yes. You don't want to scratch your vinyl at all. So we are going to
flip to this camera. Oh, hold on. Stephanie, you need to be at the controls today. Because we have to take off the artwork banner. There we go. Multitasking at its worst. Okay, guys. So now I'm going to go to my home, touch OK to clear my screen. And once again, I do not have my stylus with me. It would be back at my desk. We're going to touch pattern. And we are going to go into our general patterns. And I'm going to choose my snowflake designs, or my nature design, sorry. And let's just pick a snowflake. This is fun. You could do it with the kids. It's easy. No stress activity. Make it whatever size you want it to be. Tell it how many you want. I'm going to go with 2.5 because I've got a really small scrap of vinyl here. And I'm going to set it. I'm going to touch OK. And actually, I'm not. I need to scan to see where I put my material. So I need to load my mat. Note my hand is right there. Oh, would you all like me to go back and do that in a closer up method? Camera operating at its worst. All right, go home. Pattern. Nature. First category. Things in nature that you find. And my snowflake that I chose is ARA038. Let's touch that one. I made mine about 2.5 because I have a scrap of vinyl. I'm going to touch OK. Touch OK again. Tell it how many you want. If you wanted more than one, I'm going with one because I'm using a really small piece of vinyl, and we're going to set it. And then I'm going to scan here. And let's press start.
Well, Cindy, since we were talking earlier about this, I told you about that bay window at my house. It has 12 panes in my bay window. So now I'm going to do the 12 days of Christmas and get those on my window tonight.
That'll be fun.
And I can use that window cling just like you showed us.
And we're going to choose please select and cut. And this time I will do a test cut. We do not want half cut because we want to cut all the way through both layers because our clear plastic is what is going to make it cling to our window. So we are going to do a test cut. And let me move that over just a hair. That's good. And touch start, and let's make sure we are cutting through our vinyl and through our clear vinyl. I actually think this would be really fun to do with the kids. This way, I mean, could you cut your adhesive vinyl and put it directly on? Yes, you're just going to have to fight to get it off the windows. So
yeah, I like the, I really like the cling idea because then you could do it on your car windows and not have to worry about it. Beautiful test cut.
It did a wonderful job. And now we are ready for it to do its thing and cut it out.
Well, there's lots of times I don't want to commit to a decal. So I could do Happy Holidays and put it on. I could put different things. Like I said, I'm going to do the 12 Days of Christmas, and then it easily come off my window.
Yeah. So I see what is a brayer, and I'll go back and show what my brayer is at my table while this is cutting. So this right here is a brayer. It's basically a rubber roller, and it allows you to smooth things down on a surface. You don't really want to use a wooden one with this either. You do want to have a rubber one. The brother one has a very nice weight to it. I always store it like that so that it does not get a flat side on my roller. Just so you know. And we are just about done cutting here, I think.
Okay, so Connie's asking a shower curtain will clean. It's that clear plastic. Somebody else asked, I think it was Cindy asked what gauge it is. So it's just going to be that thin plastic that you would use when you were sewing. Sometimes you buy it to go over your tablecloth to save it. What about vinyl that is non-permanent? As long as it's adhesive vinyl, it would work, Marcia. So
yes.
For me, I use shower curtains because I can, it's a lot of material for the size of a shower curtain for my plastic instead of buying it by the yard.
And I just bought the thinnest that I could find by the yard. Looky there, guys. So now all you got to do is wet the back of it, slap it to a window.
Brilliant.
And you're ready to go. Okay, guys. So what else do we have? Why not use a wooden brayer? Hold on a second, and I'll answer that because with the particular vinyl that I was using, it would have scratched it as well. So it's
Right.
not quite as smooth of a surface or soft as a surface. With the metallic vinyl that I was using, and that's the only reason I was using a metallic vinyl. You could use it with any other vinyl. It just depends on what you're using.
The holographic vinyl, any of the heavy that's got the glitter glaze, any of those it'll leave a scratch mark. So that's why you really want to use that brayer, because you don't want to put a scratch in that vinyl.
Yeah. And you do want to get the lightest weight clear vinyl that you can find, simply because it will clean better. And sometimes when I can't find my tape to go around my thread spools,
that's what I
use.
Yep. So somebody said inside or outside, either.
Yeah. It will do better if you leave it on the inside, I think, because it is not, if you're going outside, I would probably go ahead and put it on regular with the adhesive. But it's just something great for the kids to be able to stick on the windows and doors.
So you know what would be really cute, Cindy? We could do the snowman shape and then make different hats and accessories and let them dress it up.
Let them dress it up, yes. There's tons of stuff that you could do with that. And it doesn't have to just be winter. So, these could be fun things to do seasonal all year long.
This is my new version of Pin the Tail on the Donkey.
Yes, it is. Change it up weekly. Have fun. If you want to put your chores on there, you could do that. Just make it fun. So I just thought that was a cute little fun idea. Hoping you guys, the nursing home windows, that would be great.
Mm-hmm.
They would really enjoy that. What else you could do a Santa. You could do any snowflake. You could do any design you want to. It's just a different take on what we cut. And
right.
I was trying to think of a way to where I wouldn't have to scrape the glue off my window.
Well, to me, even doing it on a mirror, especially at the holidays when you have guests staying over, to decorate the mirror, I'm not really going to put vinyl and have to scrape it off, but I think that would be so cute to put little things on the mirror.
And the etching, the faux etch vinyl would be fun on the edges of the mirror that way.
So I'm going to be doing lots of this now. Thanks, Cindy.
You're welcome. Now that like we don't have enough.
Yeah, like
So,
there's nothing else going on. So
all
let's
right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me today, Stephanie. Thank you guys for joining us. If there's anything else you guys need to, did we answer everything? Looks like we did pretty much. So thanks guys for watching. Be sure, and if you need BES4 and you want to enter it into the drawing, Pat Latham graciously donated a copy, actually this is our second copy that she donated for me to be able to give away. So be sure and comment #NeedBES4. That giveaway is next week. And next week I have another wonderful guest. Y'all can tell I'm trying to cruise to Christmas. Although I love Stephanie, it is.
the truth just came out. I'm part of the cruise plan.
And my other workload is so busy right now that this is really helping, and it's more fun. Being able to talk to somebody is more fun. So next week I have Leanne Church from Australia. She is a wonderful designer, embroiderer. She loves to use software, so you guys be sure and tune in next week for that. She is a hoot, and you all will love her accent, I'm sure. So make sure that it says #NeedBES4, just like that ticker, guys. Otherwise, you do not get entered. BES, it's got to look just like that. Otherwise, it does not pick it up. Okay, so Cheryl, Jen, you all have typed it in incorrectly, and the little random generator won't pick you up. There you go, Jen, you got it in there. So great to see you all today. Happy crafting, happy embroidering, have fun. Go explore your ScanNCuts and your software and your embroidery machines. Hopefully we've provided tons of inspiration. Stephanie, what else would you like to tell them today?
Well, a lot of these names I recognize, but if you don't belong to So Stephanie Says Crafty Group, you can go to Facebook to So, not SEW, because I don't sew. So Stephanie Says Crafty Group, and follow along. And Cindy posts in there also. And it's just a small group where we do a lot of fun little projects and videos. So come join me.
All right, thanks again, Stephanie. We'll see more of Stephanie another day, guys. Don't worry, she will be back.
I'll be back. Have fun. See y'all.
Bye.